Be sharing for the next hour and so, the Wisdom Talk at the International Yoga Festival. We wanted to take a moment to acknowledge Divine Puja Swamiji and Divine Puja Satbiji, the beautiful, amazing team of Sevas that are doing such an amazing work, putting all this together for us. Take a moment to also acknowledge each one of you for showing up here, for just spending this beautiful time for yourself here. And also I would like for you to take a moment to maybe acknowledge those of you who might have made possible for you to be here today. Maybe back home you have someone who's watching your pets, someone who's watching your kids, someone who's covering for work, someone who provided you with resources to make it possible for you to be here. So just let's take a moment, place one hand into your heart space to acknowledge those who have in the path made it possible for us to be here, and just to bring them into this awareness of loving and kind space into the heart. Beautiful. So, welcome everybody to Wisdom Talks. We're going to be talking about Ayurveda today and the wisdom of wholeness, the yogic way. So I want to introduce you to our two amazing guests. First, I want to introduce you to Maria Alejandra Avcharian from Uruguay. She is an Ayurvedic therapist, teacher and founder of Ayurveda Moderna in South America. She also leads international journeys with Ayurveda in English and Spanish. Welcome, Maria. Thank you so much for being here. Bienvenida. We also have Dr. Krushna Naram, integrating pulse diagnosis, herbal remedies, lifestyle guidance for over 15 years, specializes in chronic critical conditions, offering solutions guided by Himalayan wisdom and a mission to share this tradition with the world. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Rankumar, unfortunately, cannot join us today due to a family emergency. I also wanted to share with you, there's a class that was scheduled for him today at 12:45. That class will be offered today at the same location by Ganga Nandini. So just take a look at your schedule after here if you need to be redirected to that room, just so you know where to go. And let's talk about wholeness from the Ayurvedic perspective. When we actually talk about yoga, many of you came here for that. We talk about Hatha, the sun and the moon, which brings balance into life. We also talk about Vinyasa flow, which is the link of the breath and the movement, which leads into the transition of the body, but also the transition of the being into the seasons as we connect also with nature. So when we talk about Ayurveda, Ayu, life, Veda, science, the science of life. We're also talking about yoga. When we talk about yoga, we're not only talking about asana, we're also talking about a way of living. So this life science that is not separated from yoga, when you go to an Ayurvedic doctor, they most likely are going to prescribe you yoga based on your characteristics, the season, the stage of your life that you're in, your past, your history, your lifestyle. So it is our commitment in the International Yoga Festival to bring whole wellness and wholeness as an offering to you. And that's what we're talking about, Ayurveda as the way of the yogic living today. We are going to be talking for the next half an hour and so, and then we will be offering the microphone for you guys if you would like to ask any questions that you might have specifically for each one of our guests or both of them. Sounds good? Yeah? Everybody can hear me well all the way in the back? Okay, beautiful. There's still space in the front, so please don't be shy. Come forward if you feel like you want to come more to the front of the room or sit here in the front. It's really nice here. Okay. My first question is for you, Maria. From the Ayurvedic perspective, what does it mean to live in alignment, and why it is so hard to live in that way today?
Beautiful question, Paula. Thank you very much. Namaste to all. Thank you for being here. Well, about being in alignment, from the Ayurvedic perspective, this is a very important and profound question. Change. Now you can hear me? Yeah, now it's better, no? Perfect. It's a very profound and deep question, but in Ayurveda, we answer in a very simple way. Of course, it's not that simple to put it in action, but being aligned in Ayurveda, it means not to betray our own selves. In Ayurveda, we believe that each of us is born with a unique energy, a unique intelligence, a different body types. Now we call it, in Ayurveda, we call the doshas. No? All of us, we have different nature. And when we learn to respect our own nature, we start living more aligned. In Ayurveda, when we talk about balance, we don't talk about control. You know, I come from the West side, where people tend to, want to control everything. For me, it was the same. When I started Ayurveda, I was so conscious about if I should eat ginger or I should eat spinach or not. Of course, this is an important thing. But most important is being aligned and, not only with our bodies, but also with our emotions and our soul. What I really like about this festival and this kind of experience, it is that it creates like a real space in our life, where we can listen, where we can connect, where we can make a pause. As Paula was saying, we live in a very, agitated life, always in the outside, no? So Ayurveda, what really expects from us is not perfection, but it's coming back home. There's a great definition of health in Ayurveda that I really love, that it's swastha, that it means being established in our own self. That is the real meaning of health in Ayurveda. So, maybe today I was having breakfast with someone here in the ashram, and she knows that I do Ayurveda, so she told me, I'm feeling burnout. What should I take? This is a very common question. We are always looking outside. What should I take from the outside? No? But maybe the answer is, what should I release? Maybe it's, I don't need more things from outside. I need more rest, more routine, more practices. Like we do here, meditation, pranayama, good relationships, being in relationships that really nourish ourselves. Because maybe we stay with people that they deplete us. That's why we are sometimes feeling burnout. It's not always what we are taking or we are doing. Sometimes it's releasing tension, releasing things that, are living out without space. So gaining more space in our life is very important. Because when we have more space, creativity also comes easily to our life. So in the other part of the question of Paula, in these modern times that we are living, of course, this is very difficult. So, Yoga and Ayurveda is really a shift in the way we live our life. So a real question that maybe we should ask ourselves is how we are living. How am I nourishing myself? And when we talk about nourishment, it's not only the food we take in our mouth, it's everything. It's how we live, it's what I touch, what I hear, what I see. That's why being here is so special, because we are nourished, in every aspect of our life. So real health for me, and I think also in Ayurveda, is coming back to alignment. There's just a short thing, and I will pass the mic. I really like one thing that Puja Sadvishi says. She says, when we have the full moon, now the 2 of April, the full moon, we see all this brightness of the moon. But the moon doesn't have light. It's just a rock. It shines because it's aligned. The same thing happens to us. When we align ourselves, we shine. So maybe the real medicine is not something outside, it's coming back to ourselves. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Sthira Sukha Asanam, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras talks about balance and steadiness of body. If we bring it to a wholeness perspective, Dr. Naram, what does it mean to you to cultivate balance and wellness the yogic way?
So cool, so interesting. I love when this happens, especially when everybody's gathered up. Even the tech can't stop from saying Om when we're in Rishikesh. So I love your question. It says, what does it mean to have balance truly in a yogic way, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you so much. I just want to acknowledge that how many of us love Yoga Festival? It's beautiful, right? And I want to acknowledge both of these women because when we were out there, I was late. I went late to my own engagement. I just got engaged right now. And I was late for that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And they both had been planning, how do you deliver the most? How do you give the most to everyone who's here? So I think we should just clap for both of them. They're amazing. And really, thank you. 3 years back, this is part of my answer, so I'm not deviating anymore. 3 years back, my mom spoke at one of the panels here, and Maria was Dr. Smita Naram. Maria was also there, and I was just sitting somewhere there watching them speak, and she was one of the people I just felt drawn towards. Now, she's gorgeous. Who agrees? Yeah? Apart from that, I just felt, I want to meet this person. I want to talk to this person. Something, I don't know what. And last year, I got to be here and share the panel. And then since then, I just feel like it's been amazing meeting her every year at the Yoga Festival. Thank you. Now, thank you so much. Thank you. Now, in essence, what I have seen in years being with mom and dad, I was 6 months old since I've been in clinic with my parents, and my father helped people like the Dalai Lama, the Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, and he had a master who lived up to 125. He had a master, he had a master, he had a master. 2,500 years ago, the original master was the Buddha's physician. And at that point, the world was, what I read in the ancient texts, okay? So they had their notes, and today I'm going to present, I'll present every day. I'll show you pictures of whoever's there in the presentation of those texts. At that time, they mentioned, because the world is becoming very fast now, we need to make some changes. 2,500 years ago, I don't know if the world was becoming faster than what we are now. But every age seems to have faced some problem of a change which, if so, of a change which either it seemed okay. Okay. Perfect. Can you hear me? Yes? Perfect. Every age, 2,500 years ago, they said the world is becoming very quick now. Things are happening quickly. I don't know how different was it back then to now. But quick can be from 10 kilometers an hour or miles an hour, go to 20, and suddenly you're doubled. And from 80 to 160, also you're doubled. So we're also in a fast-paced life, but in a yogic way, and in a way that is deeply rooted, true to how the world works. Have you heard of Tao Te Ching? Yes? And Tao is not a thing. You cannot define it in its own terms. Right? But Tao is the way things work. It's an underlying principle, and you live with that, and suddenly results come. So Ayurveda, Yoga are, I believe, the only texts in my view, whatever I studied. Oh my God. How do we do this? I put it on sky mode. What is that?
Okay, we'll do our best because that's life, huh? Right? That's life. We're talking about life, and this is what happens in life. So we'll adjust. We're gonna share it, and let me get it back to you.
It felt good, but I was just worried it becomes annoying sometimes. I didn't want that to happen. So what I saw in Ayurveda were these principles which worked no matter what. Like similar increases similar, or dissimilar decreases that thing. In a yogic way, to keep complete balance is to understand just one or two principles and live by them. That's it. When I was very, very young, I used to fall sick. All of us fell sick. But I noticed that I loved eating cheese. Do you like cheese? Who loves cheese? Like absolutely loves cheese. But when you're sick, my mom told me one day, with fever, aching body, runny nose, sore throat, watery eyes, and I wanted to have cheese. And she said that what is happening here? It's liquidy, it's moist, it's heavy, correct? What is cheese? Is it liquidy? Yes. It's moist, it's heavy? Yes. So if you eat that, will this increase? Or will this decrease? So increase, right? Then she said, what do you love which is the opposite of this? So what is dry? What is sharp? What is hot? And what is light? And I pointed out ingredients, and that helped me to craft my own diet plan, which helped me to recover faster. It's very logical. It doesn't need rocket science. But in a yogic way to bring balance is when you understand these principles. With the same one, I've seen people recover from strokes, from ascites, from IBS, from so many challenges. So that's that.
I feel like we are hearing more and more these days the word dysregulation. Sounded familiar to you? Like, I'm feeling dysregulated. I need to go and regulate myself. Yeah? How you feel like connected to that term is very common right now, which is in a way getting out of alignment in the mind, of the heart, of the body. So my question is for Maria. when someone feels out of alignment in their life, where is the most powerful place to begin that realignment process?
Thank you, Paula. Well, this is a common thing in modern world, no? All of us probably experience this. I remember my first trip to India many years ago. I went to a satsang with Prem Baba. He will be here tomorrow. And I asked this question, no, I'm feeling great here in India. I'm feeling so connected, so aligned, so balanced. But then I will go back home. How can I keep this feeling? Of course, then Ayurveda came to my life, no? In Ayurveda, we go little by little. We don't suggest big changes. We won't say you change all your life. Now, I also remember what Prem Baba told me to this question. He said, keep some anchor in your life. Ancla, no? It's okay. Anchor. Sorry, my native language is Spanish. So, keep some anchor in your life, whatever it is. And we also say these same things in Ayurveda. Like having some rituals in life. I really love rituals. In the Vedic tradition, there are many. Here in the ashram, we have the fire ceremony in the morning. We have the Ganga Aarti. All these rituals create a sense of home wherever we are. So when we feel out of alignment, if you ask me, as Paula was saying, what would I suggest? Like small steps. Maybe start your morning more slow, more conscious. Take some warm water before breakfast or before whatever you're doing. Be conscious during the day about your breath. Little steps that sometimes we forget about. Try to be conscious about your spine. Try to keep it straight during the day, because we tend to go like this, no? Because of stress and life. No? So be aware of your body, of your mind, but mostly of your soul. Because sometimes when we feel out of balance, it's kind of a disconnection of our dharma, of our meaning in life. So try to connect. Now, of course, when we talk about connection, many people say, well, I don't really know which is my dharma or how to connect. Simple practices. Pranayama, japa, working with japa, meditation, praying, listening to mantras, whatever connects you, whatever. And also adding some small rituals in your life. Of course, when we go back home, we don't have Ganga, we don't have Mother Ganga, but maybe we can do, something small, something little. Prepare a nice cup of tea, drinking it very consciously, or having, our own space in our home where we connect, where we pray, where we chant. And also, getting along with people that really nourishes our heart. We should be very aware of that, because sometimes we are feeling disconnected, we are feeling out of balance, and we are eating the food that we should eat. Like the doctor was saying, we are avoiding the things that aggravates our body, but maybe we are having bad relationships around us that are, creating our mind becoming more restless or more anxious or more angry. That's really food for our soul, good companies, and doing all these things that really connect us. Coming to these places, we are in a very sacred place at the banks of Mother Ganga, surrounded by the Himalayas. So really try to absorb all this energy and allow ourselves to be touched by this energy. And when we are back home, I always say that when we close our eyes, we can come back. We can recreate all this in our minds and come back to these special moments, especially when we are feeling bad for some reason. So create these special moments inside of us and then taking them back home. So small steps that bring us back home, as I was saying, and back to our true nature and our true self. So that's it. Baby steps. Thank you.
Dr. Naram, you work with a lot of patients dealing with pre-existing conditions, autoimmune conditions, and we do have access to more resources in our times. We have access to proper diet, we can buy organic food, some people raise their own fruit, vegetables. We have access to different practices like meditation, pranayama, all that. However, the numbers of inflammation points, statistically speaking, keep increasing. Why do you think that's happening? Why? We have information, we're using the tools, we're using the resources, but the number of autoimmune conditions keeps raising up day by day. And usually when people get diagnosed, they don't only get one diagnosis, they usually have 1, 2, 3 at a time. What do you think we're dealing with that?
It's a very good question, yeah. Very good question. Very tough question. Paula, there are two sayings in Sanskrit which I absolutely love. These have been the basis of even, I would say, how many of you had diagnostic and prognostic tests done in some hospital somewhere, right? Even if you haven't, when you're just born and if you're in a city, likely is someone did it on you. That is to find out what's wrong. And what I absolutely love is that those tests confirm that the inflammatory markers are higher, or they'll confirm whether your lymphocytes or something is lower or higher or not there or whatever. What the ancient methods say more deeper. More steps you take back, more you can see a bigger picture. And then suddenly you know, oh, there is a domino, there is a something falling because something else fell, like a domino effect. I believe today we have just gone a little bit higher up to see maybe 2 or 3 reasons for that thing to fall. When you go absolutely back at the ancient texts, work with these principles, the underlying way of how things work, you end up seeing what really started that thing to fall. And you end up seeing the anatomy the way the ancient texts have given, which is, these are the layers, like the koshas, like that. There is Kriya Sharir and Rachna Sharir in Ayurveda. Talk about the strotas, the mala, the koshtanga, and all of those. And then when you know that, you can tell if someone's going to breathe this way for long enough, looking at their body, their strength, their agni, in 5 years they're going to have acidity or GERD. But if they breathe this way, they won't have it. So when these tests confirm that autoimmune is higher, all of that is higher, the 2 sayings that come to mind is, yatra yatra dhum, tatra tatra agni. Meaning if there is if there is smoke, there must be fire. So without a cause, nothing will ever go wrong. And without a cause, nothing will ever fix itself or heal itself. When you look at today, you said that we have access to organic food. That's good. But 200 years back, that was just food. We didn't need organic food. We just needed food. That's it. So look at how much in a pie chart has all of that become less. A thin slice is organic food. And all the others is something that can even last longer than our lives. If it can be on a shelf more than we can be in this shelf, in this self, then if it goes in our self, I don't know how long will we last at that point. So everything around us nowadays have become a cause. And to heal it, I've seen effectively, like really, really well, that earlier you'd need small medicine to help something. Sometimes you need more medicine. But in general, this would complete my answer. If you want, you can write this down. This is directly coming from my observations in clinic. There are only two things that define how well a quality of life would you live and how long, but more how joyously you'd live in that moment. One is the quality of your ojas, which 40% is defined by the quality of your muscles. And the best thing to increase muscle strength is, guess what? It's very simple. So there are two things. One is exercise, of course. But second is, surprisingly, is black raisins. Black raisins, when you boil them and make a tea out of it, that's going to be immensely helpful. And the next for autoimmune I've seen is turmeric. Taking turmeric with 1 teaspoon ghee, half a teaspoon turmeric, and quarter teaspoon black pepper powder. Very, very helpful. So, yeah.
Do we have anyone out there who might have a question for our guests? We have a microphone right there. Please stand up.
Yeah.
If you have a question, come forward. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Zan Bondi. Thank you for being here. Thanks, everyone. This is amazing. I'm curious, ancient wisdoms for the modern times, specifically with our relationship to technology. I'm curious what advice about our interactions with our phones, with computers, maybe in business or just in personal life. It seems like we're entwined in this relationship, and I'm just curious how that affects, or what wisdoms there are in Ayurvedic perspective.
Maria.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the question. Well, I think, technology and our cell phones, iPads, computers, they are not good or bad, like everything in life. They are just tools, You can use a tool in a good way, or you can use it in a bad way. Like a knife. A knife, it's a tool. You can use it for, for your food, to cut your veggies, or you can use it to kill an animal, for example. No, so a tool, it depends. It's not the tool itself. It's how we use it. As Paula was saying, I'm very active. Maybe if you saw me around here, you will saw me with my cell phone, because part of my seva is to share what I do to the world. I'm very compromised to share Ayurveda in South America. So I'm always posting things of the festival or whatever. So I think I'm using my cell phone in a good way. But for example, when I should go to sleep, I stay awake, just, mindless scrolling on TikTok, or doing whatever. That, of course, would be a bad use of my cell phone. So, talking about technology and everything in the world that takes outside of us, I think that the thing we should learn to practice is to be more aware of everything in life, on how we eat, how we rest, our relationships. I'm very focused on this, because what I can see a lot is that we tend to get involved in bad relationships because we are too afraid of being alone. So sometimes the cell phone acts in the same way. We think we are connected because maybe we are, just speaking with someone online, but we are not having a real connection like we feel when we hug someone or we look in the eyes to someone. So technology, I think it's good if we use it in a conscious way, but it could be very harmful if, as everything we do when we are disconnected. So just be more aware No, I have many friends that they say to me, I have this app that blocks my Instagram after 8 p.m. or something like this, no? Of course, at the first is good, because sometimes you need something from the outside to put you some limits. But the real exercise is to do it consciously. I don't need that app that blocks my phone. I can do it by myself, and that's a way that I can train my mind. Now, so here, and in the yogic path and the Ayurvedic path, it's one of the main things, how we train our minds. Because when we train our mind, it can become our best friend. The problem is not the mind. The problem is that we don't really know how to use it. So everything that we are doing here, like all the classes, the pranayamas, the yoga, the Ayurveda, the way we are eating also is a way to train our mind. Because when we change our diet, we also change our mind. So having vegetarian food, eating consciously, it's also a way of changing our mind. So I think I hope I answer your question.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
There we have.
thank you. Hello, I'm Jessica from Colombia, and thank you for let us know more about Ayurveda. I really like it, and I tried last year here in Rishikesh too, one panchakarma, and I want to try one more time because I'm feeling all the time inflammation. Even if I'm trying to change my food, always it's the same. I'm trying to work in myself in different kind of emotions, behaviors too. But the question is, how can help panchakarma to people like me that used to be inflamed all the time? And if you are recommending this kind of treatments. Thank you.
Jessica,
Yes.
bienvenida. Mucho gusto. Gracias por tu pregunta.
Gracias.
Who would like to answer?
Hey, Jessica, I can see you? Yeah, super. It's a very good question. Can I ask you one more question? If it's okay for you, that will be very helpful for everybody around.
Sure.
Super. A background, just 2 years back, I was helping an athlete who is one of the, how do you say, in football they have this long ball, and then in USA they have American football, that's it? Okay, American football. So he's one of the top athletes in that, and he came to me and said, lot of inflammation. I feel a lot of inflammation in my body. Help me to reduce that. I don't feel like I function to my fullest. I don't feel like I live to my fullest. And when you say inflammation, what is it exactly you mean? If you were to explain it to a 5th grader who didn't know what is inflammation.
It's in my stomach, in the lower back part, sorry. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to say it's the truth. Constipation.
Yeah.
And bloated all the time.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm feeling my stomach like so high. And it's more when I'm eating something like a flour, like raw vegetables. I know that I am Vata, and I need to avoid this kind of foods. But I would like to eat everything. For example, I love pizza. But when I'm eating pizza, oh my God, I'm thinking, tomorrow I'm going to be bloated. Yeah, I'm going to be inflamed. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Got it. Who faces a similar challenge when they eat flour, when they feel, yeah? Perfect. So this is going to be relevant to everyone. Panchakarma does help you. You got to make sure that you do a few things in your diet and in your digestion absolutely well. So raw is always bad. Always, always bad. But when anybody goes through constipation, there are 2 reasons why constipation happens. One is a reason why its vata is increased, like it's dried up. So everything is dry and now there is no movement. Second is, there is a lot of arm in the body. Arm makes everything swell up. Your intestines, your lining, and then absorption reduces. You feel weaker, you feel like you eat but you don't absorb enough. At that point, even though peristalsis happens with the muscles, there's no motion that happens. So looking at you, it seems 70% vata and 30% am. And in that case, initially what you want to begin with is have mung and vegetables. Green mung, but nothing raw. Everything cooked well. Soupy vegetables with a lot of ghee. If you put about 1 spoon of ghee in the meal, put half to a quarter teaspoon of castor oil along with that. Because the combination of these two is going to take care of vata for you and will take care of the am as well. You can have castor oil in the nights. Most people, and raise your hand if you relate to this, most people who have a bad gut have lower back pain as well. How many of you have had a bad gut and a lower back pain right now? Yeah? This is related because as soon as your gut is bad, the large intestine takes a hit. It starts with the liver and the stomach, but they never get affected till the end because they'll pass the food down, and that which is not processed will remain in your intestines, and it's called as the pakwashay, and pakwashay gat am, that's the word in the ancient texts. That swells up and your entire lumbar spine loses its curvature. That's when disc herniation or nerve pinching, all of that begins. Most people who have given black raisins, so raisins, grapes, when you let it dry, the sugar becomes soluble fibers, and that has a process that calls mala shodhan. Mala shodhan means it's like a mini panchakarma that it will do if you take it for long enough. That's how potent the effect is. I have a remedy, I can give it to you later on, it'll be a longer one. But doing that with the diet I gave you will start cleansing this, release the pressure as well for those who face a back pain, and eventually over a month's time, this is only diet and home remedy. Over a month's time, gut resolves and then the back pain resolves. I've treated tremendous sciatica patients. Everyone, 90% has a gut issue and then sciatica. Nobody has a structural issue because of which sciatica came up. I hope that's helpful for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Panchakarma will help, but can you meet me after this? I can see your pulse. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll come to the front in a second.
Hello. I'm also from Colombia. And my name is Claudia. So I have a question. First of all, this is my first time in India, and it has been a transformation. Aww. I am so happy to be here. I wrote it down because I'm a little nervous. I come from, there's two questions. One, you kind of answer a little bit. I come from a Catholic family background, but for the past 17 years, I've been trying to explore spirituality more deeply. I've also dealt with hip, lower back inflammation, and some neck discomfort. For that reason, I couldn't attend this morning's class, which has led me to change my lifestyle. About 4 years ago, I started eating completely organic foods. I do live in the United States, and they're not as available as in Indonesia, like if I visit. I've been taking supplements and vitamins and practicing yoga regularly for the last 3 years. Yoga has helped me physically, but I feel a call to go deeper. I just don't want to practice the poses because that's just exercise. I want to truly live the yoga path spiritually. For someone like me who sincerely wants transformation, true transformation, where would you recommend I begin to truly live the yoga as a way of life and not just a practice of exercise?
Gracias, Claudia.
Gracias, Claudia. Qué lindo hablar en español un poco. Thank you. Well, I think when we start, getting older in the West, of course, we tend to think this is a terrible thing. We don't want to get old. We want to be young, forever young, that the song says, no? But there's something very amazing when we get older is that these things start happening to us. We really want changes. When we are in this path, of course, we realize that there is something deeper that needs to be transformed. It's not only like doing the asana class. We think that yoga is only asana. No, but yoga is a way of living. We should shift from doing yoga to being yoga. No, in our life, how can we be in yoga? I think this is a good question for us. No, how can we become yoga in our life? Not only asana. But of course the asana is important because body and mind, they are connected. They are one. Our body is a messenger. It's telling things to us. As Jessica also was asking, and the doctor gave a great answer and very practical, I will put in my life. But the body, it's also telling us things. Sometimes I like to think that the body is like God talking to us, telling some things. So sometimes we should try to listen to our body in a different, or try to understand the symptoms in a different way. They are not our enemies. They are just telling something to us. So the real transformation, coming to the main question, the real transformation, I think it happens when we make all these, when we are deeply compromised with our inner truth, with our spiritual life, when we allow things to touch us and to happen to us. Because sometimes, many people come to India and nothing happens to them. Because they come, all shut, like cerrados, how do you say, all shut down, like, no? But when we allow ourselves to open, when we allow the grace to flow through us, when we allow like the energy of this beautiful and amazing country to really touch us, transformation could happen. And of course, you don't need to come to India to have this transformation. I always tell to the people around me, because not everybody is blessed enough to have this opportunity. But we can transform everywhere we are. But we should allow this to happen. Because sometimes the best enemy is ourselves. It's not outside, when we abandon ourselves. So maybe we should try to transform or see transformation just to surrender. Surrendering is really I think the best thing we can do, to allow transformation to happen. Because everything in the world is like helping us, pushing us in that way. But sometimes we don't allow things to happen. We just, we are our enemies. So just allow things to happen, and keep your heart open. And also the practice, coming back to practice. And to the really things that connect. Maybe this should be the question. What really connects me, whatever I am? What is the thing that really, really connects me? And do more of that.
We have two more questions.
Hi, thank you for such an insightful conversation. I'm Namita. I'm a biocellular mineral and facial analyst, and I work in the Department of Longevity. And I just wanted to know if you all had any tips, because when I work with clients, I feel there's a block. And the block is a lot of them have taken the mRNA vaccines, which has caused a lot of inflammatory markers to go skyrocketing high. CPR, ESR levels, I've noticed the sequence with the people who have taken the mRNA vaccines. Do you have any tips to detoxify the mRNA, what it's done? So as a mineral consultant, I'm using biochemic minerals to help detoxify and Ayurvedic nutrition, but do you have any specific tips? Thank you.
Nomita, I would also like to hear your answer to this, okay? I would love that. But as soon as COVID came in, and someone who had COVID and got some complications, and someone who took the vaccine and also came to us with a different set of health challenges, I have had, I see about 8,000 patients in my clinics in Mumbai and different parts of the world. Someone very close to me got motor neuron disease, and they're in a wheelchair in 3 months of the vaccine. No, 5 months of the vaccine. Yeah. And which countries was this in? Yeah. Yes. She got it from, yeah. No. However, I saw that every vaccine, that there were different reactions that came in, were going in line with different autoimmune conditions. And that kind of toxicity, so I don't want to be like, oh, he's only talking about raisins, he's obsessed with raisins. But I'm genuinely telling you, when you want to really heal yourself, you don't need always a big tank to shoot out a small cold. It's not a small deal when autoimmune and these markers raise. Palpitations, panic attacks, brain fog. Yes, all of these. Skin goes bad, wrinkles come up, eyesight reduces, people got heart attacks. All of these, close to me or my patients, I saw that in them while this was happening. And one of the best things, all of this comes in, is Rogaha Sarveapi Mandagne, meaning every disease comes because of a bad Agni. And when you fix your Agni, you're going to fix everything. Agni is a deeper concept, but like what we asked, Joseph, what was her name? Jessica. So what I asked her to do was mung and vegetables with ghee, correct? When you remove arm, half of the problem that's blocking Agni will fix itself. The moment your Agni gets better, your liver gets better. Liver produces glutathione, has serotonin, all of these things that protect your genes, protect your telomeres, all of those. When I say Agni, it encompasses so many modern concepts that if we go to list them down, we'll fall short of time. So just do that. And then black raisins. So many were asking what's the right quantity of black raisins, right? Black raisins, the reason why, they increase Maunsa bal. And Maunsa dhatu is the key component of Ojas, which is your immune system, your inflammatory markers, many of your blood components. So are we short of time? I'll give you that remedy which I given to many of these patients. Then there are herbs, but it's specific to the person. For autoimmune, mRNA to detoxify. Okay, so I'm going to give you the recipe then. Let's do that. It's 50 grams black raisins. Make sure those raisins aren't covered with sulfur. Most raisins come covered in sulfur. So 50 grams black raisins, which are sweet. Seed ones are better than seedless, and they should be sweet. If they are with sulfur, you want to wash them in water. That helps. In that, add 1 teaspoon cumin seed powder, 1 teaspoon coriander seed powder, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon powder, and 1/2 teaspoon up to 1 teaspoon of, turmeric powder. Now, 2 pods of cardamom. You crush it so that the cardamom opens up, the black raisins are a little bit broken, and put them in about 600 milliliters of water. Now, you really want to detoxify, it takes effort. Otherwise, there are pills you can pop. But this is very easy to do, and it's almost anybody can do in any country. 600 milliliters of water, boil till you're left with about 120, 150. Once it's lukewarm, add 1 tablespoon of real honey. If you don't have real honey, don't bother. You can add jaggery, or you don't need to add anything. But honey has specific qualities of scraping the body without harming the tissues. So in this combination, it scrapes metals, scrapes toxins out of the tissues when they're deeply settled in. And that's what you want to do in such toxicity, so that your body can keep getting better and better. Now, this is not a one-time thing. I've seen people, and I've recommended people do it for months together. They do it every single day. About a week later, one thing they notice is moods are elevated. Suddenly you're feeling happier without any reason. You're more relaxed when you're sitting. You feel stronger from inside. Bloating, indigestion, almost on the third or fourth day starts going away. Acidity goes away by the fifth or the sixth day. Over a month's time, you can start seeing your full body transform. This all came because I worked on a recipe that took me 4 years to make, and it is so difficult to give it to people that I thought, oh my God, I made something great, but this doesn't work. So this works very, very well. I hope that helps you. Yeah?
Okay, one more. We must.
Can you also share something if you...
Just a little thing, because all his advices were amazing. What I would say, you know, I'm very interested in the mind, in this path. So I will say you, just in one sentence, maybe you can drop that idea too, no? Yeah, but then maybe you can suggest, you know? Because sometimes we start telling ourselves stories and we get attached to that stories, no? Try to drop that idea. Of course, making all these changes and all these advices, that they are great, but sometimes we tend to, you know, create all these thinking process. This creates some samskaras in our mind, no? So we tend to go to that path and think in the bad way, you know? Maybe just give it to Mother Ganga, and of course make some small things to detoxify, you know, and to release ama, no, and increase agni, for sure. Thank you.
We have time just for one last question. Hello.
Hi, my name is Dagmar, and I'm from Canada. And
Hello.
I'm wondering, if you could comment on the interrelationship, as you see it, between Western medicine and Ayurveda, in particular with respect to inflammatory diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. I'm wondering whether it's a reasonable goal to apply Ayurveda to go medication-free, or do you work together with the traditional Western medicine to feel better? I myself have tried Chinese medicine and it wasn't successful, and so I'm still on medication but doing very well. So I'm wondering what Ayurveda could do for me.
Me? Okay. Can you say your name again? Dagmar. There was someone called as Dr. Dagmar, who was one of the first people in Germany who started working with mom and dad 30 years back. So very precious name. Thank you for your question. Are you going through this challenge which you spoke about? Yeah? And who relates to what she asked? And would be relevant for them as well. Yeah? Now, rheumatism is a very interesting condition. I'm helping one person with Austria right now, one person in my clinic in Mumbai, and several others through my doctors. And believe it or not, I would love to meet you after the talk to see your pulse and maybe give you a deeper guidance. But on the face of it, some of the best things for rheumatism are counterintuitive to any other pain. Every pain, doing oil massages, sciatica, degenerative changes, herniation, anything, even migraines, oil massages are going to be awesome. However, only in the case of rheumatism, when you put oil, initially the pain goes a little bit lesser and then it's going to shoot up. And coincidentally, both of these patients, both of them said my pain's going up. And when I again did the history, they said I'm doing oil massages every day since the last 10 days. And 7 days the pain has been going higher. So anyone going through rheumatism, always make sure never to do oil massages. Never, 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 never. However, dry heat is going to be medicinal. So take a cloth, put sand in it, 1 part sand, 1 part, dry ginger powder, and 1 part carom seed powder. 1 part of each of this. If you don't have sand, just use salt. Tie it up, heat it on a pan and give a good massage. That's gonna suck out the inflammation from the joints and let the vata flow easily. Rheumatism is a problem because arm has vata trapped in between it. When you put oil, arm increases, but vata reduces temporarily. Because arm increased, eventually more trapping of vata happens and the pain increases. So you want to first melt the arm, suck out the toxins, then give something which is oil-based after maybe 3 to 4 months. Then one thing that's going to help you immensely, even the moment, by the time you leave from the yoga festival, I think you're going to feel better with this, is in the night. So last time I was here, I had someone suffering, very close one, and I walked down that market and they have a good store at the very end. There's an ashram, Kali Kamli Wale ashram there. You'll get it, it's an Ayurvedic store. It's called, have you heard of castor oil? Yeah. So either proper castor oil or capsules, 1 to 2 teaspoons. If you can take in 2 teaspoons without feeling too many loose motions, then 2 teaspoons is ideal with hot water before going to bed. Any rheumatic conditions, it doesn't matter. This helps full stop. And within few days it helps. Even before the medicines I advised her reached her, she said my pain in the legs was about 30% lesser. So that's amazing. And you want to make sure, again, what we gave to Jessica, the exact same diet. No gluten at all, no yogurt at all. Vegetables, mung, dal, rice, if you cannot live without it, but it's better you live without it. Okay? And do this much, you're gonna feel better. I've helped so many people and seen so many people be better from that.
Thank you.
Well, we wanted just to thank Maria Alejandra. Doctor, thank you so much for being here, sharing your wisdom with us all. Thank you so much for coming. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Namaste.
Thank you all. As you're leaving, if you'd like to help stack some chairs on the side, I'd be very grateful. Nothing to do with the mic.